y'all, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Thando Mfundisi, and famously known as Thando Mfundisi. I am a model, an entrepreneur, and an LLB graduate. For my returning subbies, I see, receive, and appreciate the LOVE. And to my new subbies, welcome to the family. Actually, what should we? Actually, I think we should have a name for the people that are consistently like watching my YouTube content. Like, do comment down below if you actually have an idea of what I should be calling you guys. Yeah, just do let me know. Also, like, are you liking my pixie, guys? I'm trying to grow my hair because I actually went bald like last year. But yeah, anyway, happy New Year's! Yay! We have officially made it to 2021, and 2020 is right behind us. Like, we can't even see 2020 at this point. Like, we are in 2021, guys. I wish you nothing but the best for this year. May you guys smash all the goals that you've set yourself for this year. Can we be consistent this year? Can this be the year where we come for everything? Rona or no Rona, we are coming for everything this year. And yeah, guys, I just wish you guys nothing but abundance and good health. We're living in very dark times, guys, and health as well. I thought I should start off 2021 on my YouTube channel in 2020 reflection mode type of situation. So basically, I'm a strong believer that if you want to be more optimistic about what the future holds, you have to reflect on the previous year, especially when you're setting your visions for the new year. I think it's so important to reflect on the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, and the lessons, and what you would like to improve on this new year. Like some sort of SWOT analysis, like some sort of like introspection. Back to my 2020, I think it's safe to say that I had such a sad start, heartbreaking start to my 2020. January 6th, I lost my dad, my best friend, my everything, my first love, and I was having such a hard time adjusting to his passing. Imagine like not being able to see someone who's never missed a milestone in your life. Imagine never being able to call them. Imagine not having having that shoulder to cry on, like someone who's always protected you, someone who's always just been there. Yeah, maybe there were times where I took his presence for granted or his life for granted, because we grow up, we like going our own way, especially as young adults. But one thing that I knew for sure about my dad is that he would always just be there for me. So I think also when I was like on the trip of sadness, I was like, oh my god, like my future kids will never even get to experience his love. Like that was, I think that's what actually made me sad. That whole thing, they'll never know what their grandpa was like. They'll never, like, he'll never walk me down the aisle. He'll never see more milestones and everything else that I've set out for myself. Like, he'll never be there to witness all of, like, in the physical form. But I know he's there spiritually. I know he's watching us. I know I've gained an angel. And yeah, so in dealing with that, I think like I actually like reflected on what kind of person that he was, and I knew that my dad wouldn't like me to, be trapped in that cloud of sadness. So shortly after that, I actually had to force myself into the situation to say, you know what, like my dad wouldn't like to see me sad. My dad wouldn't like seeing me not doing what I had planned in my life or for my life, or even like goals, short-term goals that I had set for myself in 2020, which I wish I was able to share with him, because I was going home the Wednesday and he passed on the Monday, which was crazy to me because we were literally texting that morning and he seemed fine. We even spoke on the phone. Little did I know that like that was going to be the last time I actually spoke to my father. But yeah, so one thing about him, like he was one person who's always been supportive. Sorry guys, I'm not going to do the eye contact thing with the camera because I'm talking about some emotional stuff, so I need to like move my eyes around so that I don't really like sink into my emotions and start crying. I actually forced myself and literally snapped out of being in that cloud of grief, and I started traveling. I think my first trip was to Mauritius, and then I went to Sun City for the first time, and I started like work started picking up as usual. So I went to my usual shoots, my castings. I even attended like an award show, the DSTV MVCAs, and I really thought I had everything on lock. And then the Rona happens. We're in lockdown, like literally, like I was like this with 2020, like this is 2020, this is me, we are together. And then next thing you know, lockdown happened, and then like this is me trying to run away from 2020, and 2020 was just like coming at me guns blazing. I actually was optimistic. Like, remember the first lockdown was like 21 days and stuff like that, and I was really optimistic. I was like, okay, no, after this 21 days things are gonna slowly like gradually go back to normal. Little did I know that my entire industry was gonna be shut down. Like I wasn't working for about 4 or 5 months. I think the first casting that I did was around June. Lockdown happened like late March. The first casting I went for was around June, and I was just like, okay. And things were like really slow. I think the first shoot that I did, which was not even picked because of the alcohol restrictions, was an ad for like a cider company. And obviously like you get paid for your day fee, and it's like, oh my word, if I didn't have all this money saved up, like I think that's when I actually like appreciated like having like all the importance of actually saving money. And I was just like what now? Like, I'm not lying to you, I experienced the worst slowdown in all aspects of my life. And it was even easier to be lazy and to procrastinate because we could all hide and blame it on the vid and the lockdown, even for our personal shortcomings and laziness sometimes. But to be fair, because of all the sudden changes, most of us were really having a hard time adapting to the new norms, and subsequently suffered a burnout. And if you don't know whether you've experienced one or not, a burnout looks a little like being less motivated, irritability, or being easily triggered, emotional overwhelmness, like you're just always emotionally overwhelmed, and anxiety skyrockets, or you get insomnia. And some people experience all of these. Some people experience a few of these, like myself. I experienced a few of these, but I experienced them severely. I think there was a time where when I just moved into my apartment and I literally was an insomniac. Like I would sleep really late, wake up really early, and like literally like I was consistently waking up within 4 or 3 hours of sleep. Like, it was very difficult, and I think it's because of all the sudden changes, and not just me as an individual, but like I just think as a society, like lockdown, the vid, everything was just overwhelming. Some people lost their jobs, some people lost loved ones, some people had to deal with salary cuts. So it was really just a lot. But with a lot of introspection, I literally had to snap out of it and find a way to survive and thrive, or at least get to regular programming with all the sudden changes. Now the main reason that I was experiencing like a slow 2020 is because my industry had shut for months, and when things were starting to pick up, like production was extremely slow. That's like I soul. Okuba you freelance like guys, so like I even considered like going back to using my degree and doing my articles just so I could have like a sense of like a consistency in my income, you know. Yes, there were jobs that were coming every now and then, like influencer work. It's definitely what I'm used to like under normal circumstances, so yeah. And other models and influencers like were thriving in 2020. I was admiring like, how are you guys doing it, like how are you guys functioning? And I was really appreciating and like literally just taking notes and you know, admiring the good content and the consistency. I told myself that after dealing and doing some internal work, like work emotionally and psychologically, that I want to put out great content. Essentially, I literally want to put out great content because I was honestly like going through a lot, and the reason why I disappeared from YouTube is because I feel like people who watch you can actually sense that like you're not in a good space. Like even something, even like you know, when you're not in a good space internally, like even what you project out there to the universe, to the people, to the masses, like it's just easy detectable when but yeah, like I experienced a lot of loss. I experienced like, oh, I went through a lot, guys, rejection, but that's a story for another day, okay? Now fast forward 2021, the new year. Let me start by saying it's easy wanting to make any year your year, but deciding to do the things that make that year your year is another ball game. It requires a lot from you. It requires you to have, like when you say new year, new me, like when you say you want a fresh start, it must be accompanied by a new mindset, one that is more determined to smash goals, one that's determined to be consistent and just like bring on the A game, sweetie. Like this part of the video is not me like putting out explicitly what I'm planning for the year or what I'm already working on for the year, but like I appreciate people who just like, no, move in silence, announce things when they're already like finalized, like and concluded. They didn't come out and tell us what you're up to. But I'm a strong believer that what is mine is mine. What is mine will be mine. And not I serve a living God. No God of mine will plant an idea in my head and in my heart, or a vision in my head and in my heart, only for him to just like be like, yo, you on your own. So to ensure that 2021 is going to be my year, I ensured that all the things that would be new ventures, I've actually thought them out like thoroughly. And because some of these things are going to be new, I thought that it would be the perfect year for me to actually draw up a vision board. This year I made sure that first thing first, that I am going to pray to God and say that, God, you know my heart. Put me in a position that I could be the vessel that you put on earth to carry out your vision. You have all plans, you can plan everything on your own, by yourself, have things in place, but sometimes things don't happen the way that we envision them to happen. So I was like, let me consult the one that I believe that all I am and all I have comes from. Do you know what I mean? So that is God, and I pray. So because we can't like go to church, like I decided to go like on the internet, because obviously I don't know the Bible or like in my head and stuff like that, and I was like so I googled what does the Bible say about having a vision, and then a sermon by Mike Todd actually pops up on my YouTube, and I was like, God, I know this was you. Like, the sermon is titled The Value of Having a Vision. I'll put the link down below for those who will be interested and those who are believers like myself. So that sermon is literally what gave me more confidence in creating a vision board, because he basically outlines what a vision from God looks like. So firstly, he says your vision must be visible. So write your vision and make it so clear that a person, even if a person is running past, they can see what your vision is. Secondly, he says your vision must be vast. When he said that your vision must be vast, the first thing that I thought of was that saying that says that if your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. He says that a vision from God can only be done, or can only be possible, with God. One. And secondly is like, it's going to be outside of your comfort zone, and the people who don't understand their role in your vision will try to kill it before it comes to pass. So, but basically he was saying like, don't share your vision for validation, because it wouldn't be coming from the people you seek validation from, but pray to God to give you the wisdom as to when you can share the vision and with whom. So he said, thirdly, vision is a verb. Your vision has to have action behind it. You can't expect God to do things that you are meant to do. So he further went on to highlight how it is important to pray first, and that prayer should be your first response. So ultimately, what he was saying is that in order for a vision to be valid, right, it must be from God, because a vision from God keeps you motivated. God stays true to his vision. So whatever vision that God planted in you is actually gonna come to pass. So thirdly, he said it's so unfortunate that you will never have full support at times when you are obeying God, until your vision blows up. Like, I literally thought of like all the things that, like when you're an up and coming artist, an up and coming model, like you're still hustling, you still haven't made a name for yourself, like people don't actually recognize you, and people don't really support you, or even like people that are close to you don't even support you, but you'll be supported by people who are strangers because they can somewhat see like what it is that you're trying to push. Like that literally reminded me of that. Let's bring it back to me. So this year, like I've actually listed things that I want for myself. Firstly, I want to be disciplined this year. I want consistency to be my point of departure. Secondly, I want to be intentional. I want to restore that girl in me who was focused, who was ambitious, who did everything diligently and with conviction. And like I was never the person who followed norms. I was always the person who literally wanted to be in the forefront of changing status quo. So I want to revive that person, because I feel like there's been so many things that have been taking place in my life, and I've been experiencing a lot of rejection professionally, personally, that I went through a phase of like not feeling good enough, and I did things because they were routine or tradition to me. So now I really want to go back to being that person. Like I think this year, I've set this year out to be a year where I do a lot of internal restoration. I want a fresh mindset, but one that is also linked to who I know myself to be. Thirdly, I want to restore my faith and religion. I know like lockdown is not even an excuse, because even slightly before lockdown I was not going to church as frequently as I did. I didn't praise the Lord even from like YouTube sermons and stuff like that, like how I normally did. Sorry about that. And I think it's because I went through a lot of things whereby I was like, God, like where are you when all these things are happening to me? Like I really went through phases where I was literally doubting God's existence, and I think I was just full of resentment, because I was like, what did I do like to warrant all these bad things happening to me? Like, have I not suffered enough? But I think that was one of many ways where God was saying to me like, be still. And I think I could feel like God's void in my life, because there were more times in my life where I was like, it could only be God's doing. For me to just go through a few hiccups and doubt his entire existence. So I really want to, you know, build that relationship with God and improve my faith. And like, guys, this year's my year. Like, I manifest that over my life. I want to achieve my goals, corona or no corona. Like, I literally, like, don't care. Like, nothing is going to stop me this year. I told myself that I am going to be unstoppable. Okay, I don't want to be dwelling because I could go on for days and days and days. But in closing, guys, 2020 was a lot for all of us. I think it's safe to say that as a nation, we are mourning. And if you lost a loved one, my deepest condolences to you. But unfortunately, losing someone comes with the pain that demands to be felt. And I want to assure you that you are definitely not alone. With that being said, in 2021, I pray that you guys wake up each morning knowing that you are exceptional. Like, I want you to believe that you are exceptional. I want you to wake up every morning knowing how important you are. I want you to wake up every morning knowing that you are needed. I want you to wake up every morning knowing how unique you are, and nothing and no one can stand in the way of you reaching your full potential but yourself. So with that being said, guys, thank you for coming to my TikTok. Anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe, and if you like this video, hit the like button. Yeah, and follow me on my social media. Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing videos like this more often because there's so much that, because I think I'm going to be going through a journey and I would like to share that journey with you guys. Because the main goal is talking about my experiences, and while simultaneously like inspiring others, teaching others more than anything. So yeah, guys, thank you so much, and see you guys next time.